And we are underway here at Bolero Wauwatosa.
Hi, everybody.
And that is the voice of one, Sean Rash. I'm $2 Phil Brylow. We're bringing you another 2 p.m. squad here in the Central Time Zone, 3 o'clock for those of you watching out east. And it's another 6 games of the PBA LBC National Championship. Little excitement on the 9 a.m. squad this morning, Sean, as we had a player bowl really well and take over the lead in the men's handicap division. He even beat the men's open scratch division score. That was amazing.
Correct. Yeah, no, Hunter Lawless today put on a session, bowled 1496 for 6 games, 300 game 4, was almost going to shoot 800 for his last 3 in the team's part of the event. Unfortunately, a couple of missed spares there at the end, but 1496 scratch, 1544 handicap. He is your leader currently. I like his chances. We did the interview there with him afterwards. Grew up here in Milwaukee, bowled here as a high school bowler, now lives in Florida, but wanted to come back because this is where he bowled high school bowling, like I said. And like I said, he put on a session. It was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's just pretty amazing. We had 2 300s this morning, and the shot from Sean experienced a little, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, very playable on this 42-foot pattern.
Yeah, we started off today with a 300 by Anthony. He actually started with the first 17 strikes, missed single pin in the 6th frame of game 2. He bowled 1270, I think, overall total, senior bowler. And then we got to watch Hunter bowl game 4, 300, both on the high end of the building today. You know, last week's 300 was on the low end of the building. So here we are now at the 2 p.m. squad, 60-plus bowlers. Given their chance to win the Duke trophy later this year.
Did you rub the Duke for good luck today?
No, I did not.
Norm told everybody, and I'm going to get that clip out on social media pretty soon. Norm told everybody, you have to rub the Duke, the head. He did it while we were in the booth last week. He had the Duke in here with him, and he was rubbing the head for good luck. So we have every pair in play covered for you on the PBA YouTube channel. So the best thing to do right now, if you're watching us on YouTube already, you'll see the selections under that main feed. All you got to do is click on one of those, right-click on it, and it'll take you to another tab. Keep it open here because we're going to get Sean for most of this round. He's got a couple of things he's got to go. Some fan is lucky enough to get a lesson with you today.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Pretty excited about that. We got a lesson at 2:30 for an hour, and then I'll be back in the booth at 3:30.
And then, once we get that done, I lined up a special guest while you were gone.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's gonna be pretty interesting. It's a guest people won't be expecting, but if you have kids at home, you may want to make sure you tune back in about 2:30 once we get them in the booth. Could be some fun reading for your kids.
All right, looking forward to that.
Along. So you got the bowl on this pattern.
I did, yeah. We did a quick video this afternoon with Neil Stremmel, our tournament director. Talked a little bit about power and accuracy. I got to throw 15 or 20 shots, and very playable. Yeah,
it's you switched from you were on 71 and 2. We were doing a little bit of video work, and you practiced on 72, and you moved right over to 71, and you fired off the first 5 in a row.
Correct.
It was just like, I'm okay. It's just a 5-bagger.
Not a single shot in practice on that lane. Was able to stand in a certain spot, throw 5 really good shots in a row. Then we threw 5 more from a different part of the lane and did not strike 5 times in a row. So, it's all about matching up. 5-to-1 ratio. I don't know the exact length distance of the
42 feet.
42 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't looked too much into it yet since we don't compete in this event until July 17th on Monday, the last day of the event in the PBA exempt division.
And do you know what the prize fund's going to be in that event?
I don't know for us particularly all the details. I know we just announced the players that are going to be competing. I know it's a 1-in-3 cash ratio for us. So it sounds like 11 checks. Top 3 in our division will move on to the finals in Portland, Maine during the PBA League later this year in September /October.
Yeah, and some ancillary income in Bayside because everybody that makes it, whether it's the 3 PBA pros that make it that top 50 special event on July 17th, or if it's the winners of the men's and women's handicap or other bowlers in the classic divisions that get to go, it's $100,000 up for grabs. That's not chump change.
Yeah, no, it'd be a nice one to be a part of. A chance to win the Duke Trophy the very first year. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to compete July 17th against my fellow pros. I got to beat 31 people to make the top 3, right? And that's the focal point right now. Is I got to bowl 6 good games across 6 pairs in this building, and scores are going to be high for sure.
And we saw it today. I mean, 2 300s. We already have 3 in the event through
2 weekends.
5 squads.
Yeah, 5 squads.
So pretty hefty scores. And we've seen some young players. You see a young player here on 35 and 36 taking the lanes with his PBA junior jersey on. And, of course, youth players that participate in the PBA LBC National Championships can earn smart account money for their singles competition. They can't bowl in the doubles event. They can't bowl in the team event. But they can pay their entry fee and give it their best shot in the singles. And, hey, why not? $25,000. I don't care if you get that in cash or a scholarship if you're 18 years old. That goes a long way.
Yes,
well,
it does.
it's like 3 books nowadays. But it seems you have to be fearing that as a parent of 3 daughters, saving for your children's college.
Yeah, we've already started a couple funds. We'll start the 3rd one soon. But, I'm not looking forward to those college bills. I'm hoping my kids get that, education and some scholarships along the way, whether it's sports or from a scholastic part of whatnot. So we do have a PBA Pro Bowling. This squad, Benji Martinez, just made the 9-pin there on lane 36. Not one of the top 50 bowlers in points last year, so he can bowl any weekend or squad that he chose, and he's bowling now.
Yeah, he tore up the Midwest region last year. He was the Midwest Region Player of the Year in 2022. Had himself a heck of a year. So, and it's just one of those guys, though, when you're chasing the rabbit squads, and you were there a long time ago, you had to get that win to get out. You managed to do it, and that was a big thing for Kevin McCune at the Players Championship. First thing he said when he was offset and down on the lanes, I don't have to bowl another PTQ in my life.
Well, as of right now, he don't. That's for sure. Yeah. It's I don't see that ever changing for him. That was an unbelievable run that he had there at the PBA Players Championship in New Jersey. He went through Murderer's Row with the Tackett brothers, with Bill and Simonson. His dad was a great bowler. His grandfather was a great bowler. We knew that Kevin was going to break through eventually. I remember last year I wanted to draft him in the PBA League, and just, he didn't get picked. It was kind of surprising. I'm pretty sure he's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 picks this year in my mind.
There's always those 1 or 2 guys that every year you're looking, you go like, why didn't they pick him? Like 2022 was Sam Cooley, and all of a sudden Sam got a little pissed off about that, and it's shown in his 2023 results. Sam's not letting anybody ignore him this year, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Sam's another one that I wanted on our list. I don't know if he'll get picked this year. I think he deserves to be picked. I think he's one of the best players in the world, or at least definitely in the top 50. But a lot of people forget that when you come down to league play, team bowling, it's chemistry. It's trying to put the right guys together. It's trying to put rev rates together and lining up, how guys see the lanes and left-right issues. And there's a lot more into it. So it's a very tough job for the PBA league managers to put 5 players together and even try to saving your 3 on the team you currently have. Yeah. It's not an easy task by any means.
And I'll give you some information that may not have made it out to the rest of the PBA League teams. I told Norm last week. You maybe tell him on air, so it's not a big secret. But Charlie Mitchell leveled all the lanes at Bayside. He brought Bowling Voodoo in to come in and level all the lanes. So the difference between lanes 1 and 2 or lanes 2 and 3 that used to be there, it's not there anymore. According to the guys that bowled the Hungus tournament a couple of weeks back.
Well, yeah, we were told that they changed some lanes in multiple events this year. And you're still going to have certain characteristics in buildings. It's the way it is, right? Yeah. Unless you put brand new lanes down, flatten them, or a brand new build, whatever the case is. One lane's always going to hook a little bit more than the other. Yeah. But that's pretty exciting news, because between lane 2 and 3 at Bayside, where we tape the shows, there's some huge differences. Yeah. And, just one of those things that hopefully everybody sees the difference when we go over there and compete.
So, and that's one of the coolest things for the top finishers here at this PBA LBC National Championship. You get your chance to go to Bayside and get the crowd behind you when you're throwing that shot on TV. Something tells me that the pros may be the villains a bit when it comes to that eliminator format with the Bayside fans.
I like the eliminator format for multiple reasons. You don't have to be the best every single game. It's one of those things about surviving and everything else. The True Amateur Challenge Tournament does that, the TAT. I've bowled many events all over the world that's done that too. So, like I said, I just hope I'm part of the event later this year at Bayside.
So we got the players
Good
getting
shot
done with
there.
game one. Yeah, we're that's the one nice part about this 42-foot PBA LBC National Championship pattern. Designed for here at Bolero. I know the oil that's being used, the Kegel ice, is made because this is a higher friction surface. You were back here at World Series of Bowling, and it was like some of these pairs were like the front 15 feet were Velcro.
Yeah,
and it doesn't seem to be like that with this particular lane pattern.
Yeah, they've done a good job of building a pattern that is meant for a place that has a lot of friction. This lane surface is over 20 years old. My first year here was in 2004, the Masters when Danny Wiseman won. Then we came back in 2007, the year that I was lucky enough to win, both at Miller Park, which was something I'll never forget, of course. So. And then one of the other tricky things about this bowling center is it's wood approaches, right? You don't see wood approaches around the country much anymore, and getting your feet right, bowling in the summer is always tough. The weather's absolutely perfect outside, so it's hard to be in here right now with how nice it is outside.
Yeah, but we have almost 70 players that took the plunge here, paid their entry fee, and a lot of these players paid their entry fee early. It was they gave the PBA LBC members the opportunity to bowl for a much reduced entry fee, and quite a few of these players were talking. I overheard a group talking about how they saved basically $100 a player by being part of the PBA League Bowler Certification Program. And it's when you get to pay a half price entry, that's got to make the swing loosen up a little bit even when you walk in the door. So.
Yeah, and a lot of interesting parts this year to this inaugural event. An opportunity to bowl doubles with anyone you want, any of the PBA pros that are scheduled to compete later this year. Also the team portion, bowl with multiple pros in that. So really exciting kind of concept to everything that's part of it.
Yeah, and it's just whoever bowls first needs to pay for either the doubles entry or the team entry. So let's say you want to enter as a team with Sean Rash and EJ Tackett and Andrew Anderson. You could do that. You show up and bowl before they do. You pay that team entry fee. And then you get your last 3 games of bowling. Games 4, 5, and 6 count for team. The first 3 count for your doubles score. And then when everybody else bowled July 17th, those scores will all be piled together, and you see where you finish up on the prize list. I'm trying to take a peek around, and you saw an early morning run this morning. We saw a first game 300, but from what I can see, we're down behind lanes 25 and 6, and tough to cover 40 lanes with your eyeballs all the way down.
Yeah, no, right now no strings past what we can see.
Or not Specto.
A couple 4-baggers, 5-baggers there. Matt Westring with open spare 5-bagger. Benji Martinez can bowl 248. And you just think about the score that the gentleman bowled today, 1496, 249 average for 6 games. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a pro or you're an amateur. That's good bowling. And I'm guessing that when the pros come in here, that's going to be a hard one to beat. I don't care if it's Belmo or EJ or Simonson, Troop, you name it. Averaging 250 across this building, pretty impressive.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's see what we can see for scores here. Our friends at Lane Talk. Boy, you talk about all the stats you can do at Lane Talk. Well, guess what? We can follow all the players out here. We can even follow some of the players that are bowling the Peterson on the other side of the building.
Yeah, for the other side of the building, the annual Peterson Classic's going on, and I'm guessing they're going to want to bowl over here after bowling that one.
Yeah, we saw opening weekend. We had some players that were bowled Saturday, and then they bowled Saturday night. They bowled the Lumberjack Classic on the 24 side here at Bolero, which is the old Brunswick Gold Pins.
Ooh.
3 games, a 9-pin tap on a house pattern. And we saw a lot of players taking that on, and then a lot of players on Sunday taking on the Peterson Classic. let's see, taking a look here. Don't see a lot of big strings going on early. Let's see, one of the guys, Cody Schmidt, PBA Midwest Regional player and author of formerly an author of a 900 series. Hey, he's got one open and a double through 7, so not a hot start for him. That's way down in 61 and 2. So yeah, I don't see any.
Yeah, Matt Westring's got the most in a row right now with 6, 269 max. Pretty good start, 33 and 34.
Yeah, we'll stick with him for the rest of this opening game.
Yeah, it's a matter of what pairs you hit. There's definitely some higher scoring pairs in this building than others. Evident of the World Series of Bowling, they had all their stats, and I'm sure I could go look them up if I wanted to. But knowing you need to bowl 230 to 240 every game, whether you're bowling with amateurs or with pros, you got to have a good mental game with that.
And it's
who you follow.
Yeah, and it's a full PBA experience for these players because it's an asymmetric follow. They're not following on a squad like this. They're not following the same bowlers every game. So, one of the things everybody says is a big changer of the lanes. Urethane, 42-foot pattern. Don't really see a lot of that out here out of these players.
No, the pattern's a little too soft. I mean, some people will start with it. I'm sure some of the pros will start with it when we come out here in July. But it is definitely not needed. There's enough forgiveness between 8 and 12. I know I won't be throwing it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I saw you throw a few warm-up shots and then bang, 5 in a row. Chris Prather was here when we did the LBC National Oil Pattern Reveal video. And with that lane pattern reveal, he went first arrow, second arrow, third arrow, fourth arrow, 4 different balls, pack after a little bit of practice. So, you mentioned it's not going to 1450 or 1490 is not going to win your top 50 squad on July 17th.
Man, I'll tell you, you can give me 1490 right now, and I'll just sit back and watch with a beer in my hand.
Okay.
7 in a row.
How about that? Matt Westring taking the drive up from Oklahoma with his wife Holly and his son Alex. So, did you convince him that he should be your biggest fan now?
No.
No, it's still Jesper? He's not going to get – Alex isn't going to get away from Jesper.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to win that one. It's okay.
Yeah. There's enough Sean Rash fans out there. I'm sure many of them are watching now. So we're on the YouTube feed as well. Sean's going to have to run for less than a couple of minutes. He's got less than he's going to be back in the booth 3:45-ish, let's say. Get those questions lined up. We had Norm answer a bunch of questions last week on the YouTube feed. Sean's going to be more than happy to answer
absolutely,
as many as he can.
Fire him in. I'll answer whatever I can. Also, if you got a personal question you want to send me individually, you can send it to any of my social media accounts with Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and be happy to answer them away.
Yeah, you keep your social media quite busy. No doubt
I'm
about
trying
that.
to learn a few more tricks. I probably should do more, but at the same time, I got a wife and 3 kids that I want to be at home for and everything else. So.
All right, Mike Hammond watching from Eugene, Oregon. Scotty Thompson watching it again.
Scotty Thompson, I know that name.
Yeah, he watches a lot of these PBA feeds. So, Scotty was asking if we've seen anybody using a polyester ball for a strike ball.
No, not yet. None of that stuff here.
Yeah, and pattern's a little too much in the volume for that to happen.
Too much oil in the lane for those.
Unless you had 1,000 rev rate, maybe.
I think he's trying to refer to something else that's happened recently.
Okay. So
I'm just assuming, of course, again.
Well, and we did see the tournament staff. I mean, watch the lane oiling personnel walk the lanes.
Look at that. That was impressive. Off the wall, spinning.
Makes that washout. That's beautiful.
I met this group here on 27 and 8 last night at my hotel. I kind of shocked them when I walked in the door. Sean, are you bowling this weekend? No, sir. I'm just here to help promote our sport, promote the event. 8 in a row for Matt on lane 33.
He said it's going to be – you're going to need quality starts.
You better bowl 250 or 60 game 1 to get that swing loose and get some confidence.
No doubt.
And it's all about who he follows. 4 in a pair. Oh, and is that 8 in a row now? No, that's 9 in a row now.
That's 9 in a row.
Make sure my numbers are right. I thought I'm pretty good with math.
Yeah, the gate's at 269. It's a nice bounce back.
How many lanes do they move game 1? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I don't have a lane movement chart. They just gave me the starting lanes for all the players. I would assume that with crossing the house, they're probably going to move at least 2 pair, if not 3. So.
What lane's he on? Well, he's on lane 33.
33, yeah. So I would think he'd be
out the
moving
window. 267 game 1. Nice start.
So he's probably moving down probably 41 or 43 next because they try to get all the players at 3 games on either side of the split here. It's 24 lanes with a split in the middle.
He's number 16, 220 average bowler.
Yeah, lots
He's
of
in the Open Classic Scratch division.
Yeah, quite a few Open Classic.
Well, hey, listen, I got to run. Yeah. I'll be back in a little bit. I look forward to seeing some questions that are out.
Yeah.
And enjoy the next hour, Phil.
Yeah, a bunch of people coming in. Thanks, Sean. All right, we're bouncing around the coverage here. As we'll bring some of the pairs in the play. You can look at all the pairs in play. I saw a question from Willow. If you go down in the description of the video that you're watching, and you click on the show more, I'll show you here in a second. Because that's the kind of guy I am. I like to show what's going on. So here we go. We'll get you after, I thought we'd get a strike there, 6 pin. So you see right there, I've got my little arrow by show more. I click on that, and it brings down all the different feeds that are out there for the different pairs. So let's say I know somebody that is watching, I want to watch in 59-60. Best thing is go down to that feed and then right-click on it, open a new tab, because then what happens is that when it opens that new tab, it'll keep us on here in the main feed. So you can hear when Sean Rash comes back in shortly and questions you want answered, that type of thing. You can keep that on with us. And then watch your favorite player. You see him right there in the lanes 59-60 feed, 57-60, pardon me. So, yeah, pretty cool that you get to watch that. You can watch any of the pairs that are being used on a squad. Every squad of this event, full transparency here at the PBA League Bowler Certification National Championships, this 2023 edition. I'm $2 Phil Brilo, bringing you through the day. This is the last squad of the day. We'll be back tomorrow with more coverage on a 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern squad. There will be no main feed tomorrow. We'll just have our pair feeds covered. We do the main feeds when we have a PBA Pro in town. Don't know who that's going to be next week. So, but whoever it is, they'll be in the booth with me on the 2 p.m. Saturday squad all the way through the run of this LBC National Championship through July 16th. And as we mentioned, there's 5 divisions of this event. So many of these players you're seeing out here today, part of the Open Classic or Senior Classic divisions. Senior Classic, of course, being for those bowlers that would be PBA 50 eligible, 50 years of age or better. And then there's players as part of the Open Classic division. We mentioned Benji Martinez already. Here's a couple other young guns that bowl a lot on the PBA Midwest Regional Tour. There you see Cody Rodner stepping up, throwing 10 back. And the other Cody on that pair, Cody Schmidt, one of less than 50 players in the world to ever record a perfect 900 series in certified competition, and you can't get the 900 leaving 2 A10s. And both those young Codys taking part in this LBC National Championship today, and looks like a couple of youth players. Cody part of the Anchor Lanes ownership group up in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and a couple of, I see they have their high school jerseys on. I think they may no longer be in high school, but with Levi and Parker on his pair. But if they are still youth players, once again, we mentioned it with Sean, Rule 400 allows singles competition for scholarship money that these young players can be a part of here with the LBC National Championships. One thing that's always awesome about the sport of bowling, and especially an event like this where you got people from across the country coming in for this LBC National Championships, is that bowlers, thanks to the handicap, 90% of 220 in the men's and women's handicap divisions, can participate and try bowling their best. If they have a good day with their handicap, they could end up like Hunter Lawless did earlier today. Of course, no guarantees that there's going to be a 300 as a part of it, like Hunter had. But there is a chance. And players with various abilities or disabilities have the chance to take to the lanes here at this PBA LBC National Championship like anyone. And watching Thomas Jensen here. Jensen, double amputee below the knee. So you can see there his prosthetics. He's got fitted with bowling shoes. And he'll get himself lined up. Simple half step. If that, yeah, not even. And he gets that momentum going. And how about that? I thought he took the 7 out. Good toss there by Thomas Jensen. Well, we have a pursuit of perfection alert. Benji Martinez down on lanes 39 and 40. On the front 7, he'll be stepping up in the 8th frame momentarily. We'll keep an eye on Benji. And, of course, the commentator booth curse comes right through instantly. Bam. 10-pin for Martinez. Taking a look at Matt Westring. We saw his big game, 267, the opening game. Open frame again in the first game, game 2, and then decides, hey, I'll start stringing strikes again. And he's on the next 5. So we'll keep an eye on Westring as well as he makes his way across these pairs in play. Westring make it out to 6 in a row for Westring. Holy cow. Man's on a roll. Good early start for the man from Oklahoma. Larson, pretty tall individual, too. He's got to be about 6'3", 6'4". So at least being a little taller in stature. He's able to get some leverage into that shot. Get a decent amount of ball speed, probably 11 to 12 miles an hour. You can see those scoreboard mile per hour indicators, but sometimes they just get a little too slow, too quick, because that measures at the back part of the lane. It's not measuring what the ball coming out of the hand is. And obviously, a slower bowling ball is going to slow down even quicker with friction than a faster bowling ball would slow down. It's kind of not quite exponential, but definitely not a specific formula you could use on that. And Larson with the cover. So once again, with the 5 divisions, 2 of those being men's handicap and women's handicap, everyone that comes out to the LBC National has a chance. Good old Mrs. Phil, part of the crew today. There's $2 Phil, and then, of course, there's Mrs. Phil, as she's lovingly known as by the PBA community. Hey, let's take a peek in here. Matt Westring just stepping up here. And there you see his strike in the 9th frame. So he's looking to start at 267, 279. Benji Martinez also having a pretty good start. Missed that single pin in the 9th, but he's going to finish at 257. So, once again, if you want to check those players out down in 37 through 40, you're more than welcome to at your own convenience. As we're staying with some bowlers here. Hey, here's a bowler with a hot hand as well. We'll get over to him momentarily. Cody Rodner. As Rodner looking to put up 290 here. In his second game. Started with 244, so a couple of hot hands. Between Rodner and Westring. And when Westring takes to the lanes on 37 and 38, we'll get back to him as well. Give you a peek in on that with two of the hottest hands in there. So who's going to fire first, Rodner or Westring? I think Rodner's going to fire first here. Yeah, Rodner will fire first, then we'll get to Westring. And 10 doesn't go. This Westring kind of fell off that shot a little more than usual, but he likes it, and you see why. In the 260s for Matt Westring. He's going to be plus 130 after his first two. It should be interesting for Westring because of how he's making the move up the house. He won't come back to the low end of the house till his final game, as he's looking at having, well, a miss here. 267 again, but I don't think the triplicate's the key. I think every pin possible is the key for Westring. He's going to be looking at sitting at 535 for two with a conversion here. And Rodner as well is going to be in the 500 for two range. So a couple of hot hands early on the squad. We'll follow them for as often as we can because that's what the main feed's the purpose of here. We get you the hot hands in play. And at 267, he's going for the triplicate. And Rodner follows up his opening 244 with 269, gets to 513 for two. So game two finishing up here in this 6-game squad, the 2 p.m. squad on June 10th for the PBA LBC National Championships. We'll have another special guest in the booth momentarily. All right, we're getting into game 3 here at Bolero Wauwatosa, the 2 p.m. local time, 3 p.m. Eastern time squad. Here on June 10th for the PBA LBC National Championships, almost 70 players on the squad. And Jordan, sorry to hear you retired from bowling, because you could bowl in one of those handicap divisions, get some pins to balance out your average against those that may be higher or lower averaging than you, and be in one of the divisions of the PBA LBC National Championship. But Jordan, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today on the live stream. Once again, we'll have Sean Rash back in the booth in a little while. Tell you what, I've never seen a PBA fan so happy to get a lesson like the fan that's getting one from Sean Rash down on the high end of the bowling center right now. Bounce around. We're bringing some fresh faces in. We'll keep you updated on some of the players that have had hot starts so far. Waiting to see where Matt Westering's ending up for his next game here. He's high on the squad right now. He's in the back-to-back 267, so 534. Got another player in the 500 after 2 range with Cody Rodner. We'll get you back over to the feed with Rodner, as he's on the left pairing. You see here. A little slower start for Rodner this game with that open in the third. Looking to bounce back. Once again, all these players battling that special 42-foot PBA LBC National Championships pattern created specifically for this event. And there you see there for Rodner. Gives him 10 back in a hurry. And another peek in we'll get right here momentarily is the man beating up the scoreboard after 2, Matt Westring. Westring, not a good start. Started with a gutter ball. Yikes. You see his score right now over on lane 44 on the bottom. And he's kept it clean since then, but boy, those first frames are hurting Westring for sure. One way or another, he's getting 9 every first frame so far. He needs to change that. And he can't get that left lane figured up. He'll be up in the left lane next. As after that gutter ball, all kinds of strikes on the right lane for Westring. Let's see what he can do to get his first double of the game on the board. So the leader on the Open Classic division right now shot last Saturday on the 7 p.m. squad. That was a young man out of Tennessee, C.J. Petrin, bowls for Oklahoma Christian. Right now he's in the lead with 1441. But I don't think there's any way that that's going to hold up through the run of the tournament. Still a really great score. For Petrin, pardon me. looking to see what we can do to get a little updated thing on Westring here. But here he is in the booth joining us, and glad to have him once again. The man who is the commissioner of the PBA, and that is Tom Clark. Tom, thanks for stopping in the booth today. And you've been, you were up here last weekend. Lots of people glad to see you, glad to get a chance to talk to you outside of a PBA setting. A lot of people only get to see you in passing.
Yeah.
And then when they get to see you and talk to you for a few minutes, you see their eyes light up and they're asking you questions about the tour and stuff. It's pretty neat to see you kind of in your element, but outside of your normal element with the tour players always being around and stuff.
Yeah,
It's a little different.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Phil, and thanks for streaming this for us. It's fantastic. Well, it's kind of like a blending of two worlds, because when I'm on the tour, you know, really my favorite thing to do is talk to the fans.
Yeah.
You know, and the fans who come to the shows and come watch every day and are part of the local communities where the tour is going. And here, these are mostly fans. You know, so, you know, these aren't tour players. There's one on this squad, for example.
Yeah.
There's might be a few that are future tour players. But for the most part, these are bowlers. These are league bowlers, and the league bowler is the core audience of our show and the PBA Tour. So it's kind of like the conversations are different, because I'm talking to fans who are actually bowling in our tournament.
Yeah. And they love the PBA feel they're getting to this. They're moving pairs after every game. Before the tournament started, everybody was out for the national anthem at the foul line and watching the inspirational video from Norm Duke, and you could just see that you can just see the excitement as they get ready to get back and start those practice shots and get ready to take on the lanes for score. And boy, the lanes have been, I wouldn't say super forgiving, but a couple 300s this morning. New leader in the men's handicap division, who outshot the Open Classic division leader by 55 pins right now. He had 1496 scratch.
And so yeah, I saw that he shot 1544 with handicap. I wasn't sure what his handicap was, but so it wasn't. It was only a few pins a game.
He was only 8 a game, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, probably 210 average players.
That's good news for the Open division.
Right, exactly. C.J. Petra's got to be breathing a little easier knowing he's not in second place by 50 pins after yesterday.
I really am. I love this pattern, and I love that everybody can know exactly what it is before the tournament. We did a whole video about it. It's posted. You can lay it out wherever you are, and it's never going to be exactly the same as in this building, but you can get a close idea. And I really like how it holds up through all 6 games, and how it gives every style kind of an equal opportunity to execute and play their game, you know. And I think everybody that leaves here, feels like, I had a shot at it.
Yeah.
It was fair. I didn't feel like I came all this way and I can never bowl in this. It's too hard, and, it's a pro condition. No, this is a very nice condition. Eric Pearson was the main person to design it, who's our lane man for the PBA Tour now. I've given him enough criticism of patterns to be able to give him enough praise of patterns, and in this case, for sure, he really hit the bullseye, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's just neat to see when you get pros of the skill level of a Chris Prather, who was in that lane pattern reveal video, who went arrow to arrow to arrow to arrow on 4 straight shots and struck on every one of them. Or Sean Rash today took a couple of warm-up shots on lane 72, moved over to lane 71, 5-bagger to start. Yeah. Where these guys, but
in all fairness, those guys can strike on anything,
right,
anytime. But we were talking about super talents.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see how the pros break them down, and if the pros with their rev rate do select their own line to the pocket, it's going to become messy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if their numbers will be as high, or because it's not a house shot, it's almost easier than a house shot for a pro bowler.
Right.
Because you can play out. It's not wet dry, really. And so they could just destroy it, and we could see the highest scores we've ever seen. Remember when we did the Ultimate Scoring Championship?
In Wichita,
That was fun. But I don't know how many people liked it. We only did it once, but I thought it was fun. And it was exciting to see how high the scores could go.
Right. So, wow, there's a guy. Let's take a look on 29 and 30. I'll bring him in here. His name's Vu Dong. And Vu, is back of his jersey says oil pattern, what's that? And you're going to see why right now when he shoots at his spare on
Kevin
lane
Durant?
29. The ball speed,
Yeah.
he just recorded 25 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
But it's a relatively straight. It's not quite the old spinner style that we saw for a lot of Asian players.
Oh,
back in
I
the
see him
90s.
out of the corner of my
Yeah.
eye. Okay.
But watch him run to the line there on the left side of your screen, and then boom.
Yeah, he doesn't need an oil pad. He should go bowl the Pete.
We should ask him if that's on his plans.
Absolutely should go bowl it. Well, the reason why I said Kevin Durant is there's a famous video when we went to one of the first Chris Paul events, and Kevin Durant bowled, and we went and asked the NBA players, what do you think about this oil pattern? And and Kevin Durant's answer was, oil pattern? What's that?
That's awesome. Yeah, Chris Paul's going to have to figure out where it's time to start the bowling career up full time.
Yeah.
Heard that Phoenix
See
is
where he ends up.
letting
See
him,
if it goes back to L.A. It's interesting that Bolero announced that they bought Lucky Strike, and where we used to do the Chris Paul event in L.A. was at the Lucky Strike L.A. Live, which is an awesome facility. It was a lot of fun doing it there.
Isn't there one around Wrigley Field in Chicago too?
Yeah,
Lucky
Chicago's
Strike?
got one. Yep.
Been to that one.
I haven't been to that one, but yeah, most of those are very nice. They've gone through a lot of changes through the years too, but we had a lot of fun there. I know that.
Yeah, no doubt. Because then somebody else was talking about when they had the summer thing in Chicago, but that was at 10 Pin Lounge.
Yes.
That down in
Yeah.
the Marina District. So
Yeah, that was the team matches we did, and
yeah.
it's where Sean Rash is here. That's where that famous moment happened.
The bottle.
It happened
bottle
right there at 10 Pin Lounge in Chicago. Yeah, Sean, but having Sean here is awesome. That's part of what makes this event really special. Is every weekend, like last week Norm Duke, this week Sean, and all the players that are fans, like we talked about, getting his picture, getting a photo with him, getting to meet him, getting a few tips from Rash. He's really good with the people, and he's a great teacher.
Yeah.
He runs a great clinic business for himself and brings other pro bowlers into it. So it's good to see Sean out here.
Yeah, I know that he was talking to a couple of guys last night out in Portland at Bayside. They're doing a clinic out when the PBA League's out that way. Sean's getting one of his clinics together out in the Portland, Augusta, Maine area, and they were announcing that, Wes Malata's going to be helping out, and other players are helping out. So yeah, Sean's really got a pretty good business going.
Yep.
With those, and what better person to get lessons from than someone that's just experienced the grind of the tour for
He's done it all.
17 years now? Well, how long has it been since he won the?
We're getting old, that's for sure. Yeah, 2007.
7, yeah.
And
17 seasons in.
yeah, and he's got a couple more years, and he's Hall of Fame eligible for the Hall of Fame. He should be a first ballot, no doubter. And he's done it all in the PBA. He's also done it all globally. Team USA, USBC. Junior bowling, every single bowling tournament you could bowl, he's been a part of in some way or another, and he's got a story and experience from each, and he takes them all serious. And I got to watch him bowl the USBC Open one year as part of our group, and he almost won it. He came in second in all events to Chris Vai a couple years ago.
That was the COVID year, wasn't it? Where were you in both the plaza?
I don't think we had to wear masks that year.
Okay, so it had to be before then. Okay,
I think so, and. Or was it the year after that? I don't know. Those years are running
probably
together.
19, probably the year before. Wouldn't it be 19?
I don't think so. I think it was after.
Okay,
that.
after
that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so 22. Okay.
Yes.
Because
Rory bowled, and he had to be old enough to bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, Dar. There's a local Dar Sellers from bowls for Purdue walking by. Wow, on staff.
Yeah, he bowled the regional a couple of weeks ago in Lockport.
Yeah, I saw his
Illinois,
name on there.
so.
That's good. I've known him since he was a kid too, and we're definitely getting old. I am for sure. All these guys you see and you go, wow. Remember when they were coming up?
Right.
But Rash was a great junior bowler. He was a great junior gold player. He was a great college player. He was college player of the year. He's done everything at every level of bowling, and they're all different. And he knows how to shape a lane. He knows how to set a pair up for himself.
Yep.
And he knows how to move to different pairs. He knows how to plan ahead, and he knows how to prepare as well as anybody. How you doing, sir? Thanks for coming. Thanks for bowling.
He's beating himself up on the peat on the other side, I think, right now.
Oh,
you beating yourself on the peat? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how enjoying and Peterson would go in the same sentence, but okay.
But if you love the sport of bowling,
Yeah.
I mean, this place over these 6-7 weeks in the summer in Milwaukee, which is beautiful in the summer, to see this national championship going on, and on the other side of the building, see the Peterson Classic going on. You know, it's really at the heart of the game, and I'm really proud of the number of people who are coming from all over the country, especially in an inaugural event, a first time. You're not really sure what it's going to be. And mostly what we're hearing from everybody is, are you going to be here next year? We'll be here. We'll be here. We'll be here. They want to get in now for next year.
Yeah, the neat thing today was catching a couple of walk-ins that were in the area in southeast Wisconsin that came in for the squad. So, yeah, it's the word's getting there, and I know for people that are far away, you're going to need a little more planning. I mean, obviously you're out on the coast. You can still get here. You can still sign up, pba.com/LBC tournament, and that gets you right to the sign-up page where you can still get on one of the squads. 5 weekends to go. Make a trip to Milwaukee. And, hey, if you're a Harley fan, make it the last weekend because they got the 120th Harley Fest going on.
Hard to get a room that week. But
yeah, you might be staying out in Dousman or you might learn some of the great names of Wisconsin cities for where you may have to stay, like Oconomowoc, Palmyra. Yeah, you might be out that way. But, hey, better to be out west of town and try to get here to Bolero than being downtown and trying to get here with all the Harleys and everything going on. No doubt when that happens. So, we got some player movement going on. We got somebody with a bunch here on 31 and 32. What do we got with that bunch?
Yeah, I think the only area that I was slightly perplexed or disappointed, I might even say, in terms of participation in this event was Wisconsin. I mean, there's so many great bowlers here, and there's so many bowlers, period, and they bowl everything. It seems to me, I live here, and this opportunity is so huge. And of the 1,000 or so entries that we have, it's like 100 or 100. It's only a tenth.
Yeah.
And I was almost thinking that Wisconsin would almost run this tournament over, with entries. And I don't know if you look through this field today. I have no idea because I didn't look at it. But my guess is there's probably just a couple that are from Wisconsin.
There's a foursome with Cody Rodner and the other Cody. Blanking on his name right now. Cody Schmidt. They're from Wisconsin. There was a couple other ones I saw that were locals too. But also there's some locals bowling the Pearson right now. We just saw Rocky Harrison. And also they're like checking out what's going on over here. And I had one guy earlier, Mike Hungerman, going, I should really be bowling this. Yeah, you really should be bowling this.
Of course you should. And not right. And I don't tell everybody, anyone I meet in Wisconsin, I tell them about it.
Yeah.
And I say, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to get you to enter. I'm telling you as a friend. This is a great opportunity. You got to come in here and bowl 6 games, and the money that's guaranteed and the opportunities that exist with this tournament are like unheard of. They're unprecedented, and here we are. You should be here.
Right. Yeah. PBA LBC PBA.com/LBC tournament. Get yourself signed up. There's still 5 weekends left.
And it's really modern. It's a really modern sign-up, which maybe confuses some people at first. But once you get used to League Pals and understand League Pals, I mean, you pay everything by card. There's almost no need for cash at this event.
Right.
Even when you enter optional events and doubles and team and brackets and everything, it's I think the brackets might actually be cash, but the
brackets are cash.
Yeah, the brackets are cash, but the optional events, team and doubles that there's really cool. Is all you can do right on your app. You just hit the button, on your League Pals app.
Yeah, or there's tablets in the tournament registration office.
Here, yep.
You can sign up right in case. Hey, you see a guy that you didn't know was on your squad. Hey, let's sign up for doubles. Bam, do it right on the tablet.
And I know you guys have talked about it, about the pro doubles, the opportunity to bowl with a pro, but I'm still not sure people fully understand it, and because it's just one of the coolest things you'll ever do. Like if this guy, what's his name that doesn't care about the oil pattern?
Oh, Vu? Yeah.
Vu.
Yeah.
If Vu, before this squad says to himself, well, I'm going to enter the singles, which I'm entered, but I'm going to enter doubles, and I want to bowl with Sean Rash. So he enters doubles. He pays the full fee. He pays for Rash too, and he's in with his team. Now he posts his score. Now on July 17th, when Sean Rash bowls, whatever Sean bowls that day is paired with his score, and that's his double score.
Yeah.
Let's say Vu bowls pretty well.
Yeah.
He's got a chance to win. Got a chance to win a lot of money. When he would watch your stream, this live stream on July 17th, his interest level in watching Sean Rash will be through the roof.
Oh, yeah,
it's
he'll
like
watch
the ultimate fantasy bowling.
Right, he'll watch every pair that Sean's on. He'll just keep moving through the YouTube streams, just like everybody at home can do when they're following their favorite player right now. We have so many people doing that.
And if you have some people that are close enough that have a chance and partner with a pro, and they're close enough to this area, I would think that this building would be jammed that day.
Yeah.
With everybody that bowled doubles with pros rooting on their guy.
Right.
And there might be 50 people who picked EJ.
Oh, sure.
It's an easy pick to say, yeah, why wouldn't you pick EJ Tackett? He's led every single tournament this year on the PBA Tour.
Right.
But there's so many other guys where they're going to pop a big number.
Yeah.
You look at the list of players and you go, Christian Azcona, for example, that guy can strike forever. Any of them can strike forever, especially on this shot. And so picking the one. So, like, for example, let's say you and I both pick EJ. Well, if I already know you beat me in singles, then we both have EJ, you're going to beat me in doubles.
Yeah.
But if I say, well, you got EJ, but I got, Brad Miller.
Yeah.
Well, if Brad Miller kicks EJ's ass that day,
right,
I added to my
chance.
score, I beat you in doubles.
Yeah.
So I think that part of this is going to – it's going to end up being so freaking popular in the future. It's almost like gambling in a way. But it's not. It's,
it's like you said. It's like fantasy bowling, but you're part of the action.
You actually compete.
Yeah.
You compete, and they compete for real. It's not fake.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So we got some lane movement going on. Tom, let's take a little audio intermission here. We're going to get a couple of cameras. Okay. We got some cameras that got bumped with bowling balls, and we'll be back with Tom Clark in just a couple of minutes. Yep. All right, here we go. More victims. More bowlers coming in the lane. Our spotlight pair, 27 and 8.
Game 4, huh? Okay.
Game 4 already. Yeah, the pace of these squad. That's another nice thing too about the format with this LBC National Championships. It's 6 games. You're 4 on a pair.
Yep.
About a half hour a game. You start the squad. You're done in 3 hours, and you got the rest of your weekend to enjoy the greater Milwaukee area. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is really a comfortable pace. That was really important to us when we were putting this tournament together, is to create a pace that didn't feel like a drag and just get too long or just not have enough action. I think we hit the sweet spot on a lot of things. There's a few things, of course, with anything where you want to get better, but I'll tell you, the tournament itself, it's awesome.
To get this amount of people in a building to bowl on a Saturday afternoon when it's gorgeous weather outside in the summer, it goes to show something for the format of this event. And it's something that I think a lot of the as you said, these are PBA fans. They're turning into PBA bowlers for this one event, and they're really undertaking things with a smile.
Yeah, you see so many different styles too. You get used to with watching. I watch so much PBA bowling, and you almost get used to the number of people that throw the ball perfectly or beyond perfect, and post every shot, and they have classic forms. And even though the game has been getting more and more diverse of late, with different types of styles having success at the highest level, there's certain things about succeeding at the highest level that are common traits across the board.
Right.
But then when you watch a full-on tournament with handicap bowlers, women, seniors, scratch, kids, and they're all bowling at the same time, you see so many, like you identified with VU. You know, there's so many unique styles out there, and unique ways that people go about the game, and they're from all over the country. And my hope is that, you know, these people will make friendships that last, you know, with bowlers like them from other parts of the country. They become friends on Facebook and follow each other as they get better and better at the game. And I think you'll see a lot of that happening. The registration room before a squad is really a cool little gathering place, you know, where everybody's signing up for different events, checking in for the tournament. And you have a pro like a Sean Rash there, and you have our staff in there, and pretty soon everybody knows, hey, we're all friends here. We all love bowling. We all want to take part in this event, and so they automatically have something in common. And then the conversations start, and what have you bowled, and what have you bowled, and where do you bowl, and what's your average, and, you know, how long have you been bowling? And pretty soon you've got a friend. And I think that's another really cool thing about this tournament. That doesn't happen a lot at PBA tournaments.
Right. You know,
that's cutthroat.
You mentioned the different styles and everything here. I mean, let's take a look this morning at the guy, young man. I mean, here's Hunter Lawless, the man who shot 1494 scratch. You know, about a 210 average bowler coming in. Unassuming, not the super high rev rate, one-handed style. And you can see, you know, this happened in game 4, so the lane's already right where we're at now with breaking down the pattern and that type of thing. And he had a very comfortable shot. Almost 4-9.
Beautiful.
But got it to go.
That's got to be a lot of fun. Was Sean there for that one?
Oh, yeah.
Too?
You'll see Sean. You'll see Sean right at the end. You see the high fives from everybody. You'll see Sean come in right at the end here. I mean, talk about a highlight for that young man's career. There's Sean coming in. There he is. Oh, yeah. Like last week,
awesome.
to have Norm Duke come up behind you while you're shooting a 300 game, or have him on the call like he was for Matt Gasson, or to have Sean Rash come up and high-five you once you shoot 300 and have a great game. You don't get that in a lot of other tournaments where there's going to be a PBA pro here that, to like you said, shake your hand, talk to him, ask him a little bit in the player registration room.
They're very, very giving with advice. They have very fast. You know, our pros, for the most part, are, you know, the greatest ambassadors of the game, and they know that it's important that more and more people bowl, because then their audience grows and what they do becomes more and more valuable. And so they want to help people stay in the game, and their eye is so quick. They can watch one thing. I mean, if you have Sean sit here later and he could go right down the line with each bowler and say, well, here's the first thing you should work on. And it would only take him one shot, you know.
Well, here's a little something. We had Norman last week, and it's right. We don't have the audio on it right now with the bowling going on, but one of the cool things is when you come in, he wants everybody to rub the head of the Duke for luck. So that's what he's telling everybody right now. When you get in here, I mean, he's serious about it, too. Get in here and rub the head. CJ Petrin did it, 1441. He's our scratch division leader from last week. I mean, you're going to have to get some refinishing done on the top of that dome, I think, for the Duke by the time it gets out the bayside, if everybody's rubbing it for luck.
Well, if there is anybody that's got a certain ability to sprinkle magic dust on anything, it's Norm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a special human being. He's the type of guy where when he does look you in the eye and he tells you something that's going to give you luck, you really believe you got it. And he gives you a belief, you know, that's unmatched. And there's rare people in the sports world, in any sport, that are like that. And then if Norm says rub the head for luck, rub that the Duke head for luck, I take him at his word. I would do it.
I did it before we started setting up this morning. I've had zero issues all day with the live stream, so I'm going to do that every morning. I come in, first thing I'm going to do is see Norm and rub the head for luck. And,
it's great that he's involved with this event to the degree that he is, and that he's such a great ambassador still. But it was one of the toughest things I've gone through as commissioner, and I've been doing this for 15 or more years now. And losing him as a player and having him retire from the game across the board, if any fan out there wants to know, I'll tell you, I worked as hard as I could to keep him. And it was for a few years, so I did succeed for a while, But he finally, it was the last one, and he knew it was time, and I tried even that day.
Even Portland. I remember that in Portland. You were right by the booth.
Yes,
while Norm, you were talking to me, and then Norm was coaching Dallas, and you put the headphones down, and you immediately started pitching Norm. Norm, come on. How about at least the TOC?
Yes.
I mean, it was good.
I figured if I could get him to say that he would bowl the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? He will never show up at the Tournament of Champions unprepared. So it would make him keep working out. It would make him keep practicing. And then he'd get bit by the bug again, and he'd be like, all right, well, I'll bowl the World Series. Oh, okay, well, I'll bowl the Players' Championship. I'll bowl the Masters. Yeah. And so I thought that was my trick to get him. But the TOC hasn't – yeah, it did happen. He didn't bowl. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Pete to bowl the TOC.
Yes.
You got Pete there.
And Pete – it was great to see Pete there, and Pete hadn't gone to our Hall of Fame dinner in a long, long time for his own reasons, and I respected all of them. And this year he came back to the TOC, and he came to the Hall of Fame dinner, and I have a little bit of pull with where people sit at the Hall of Fame dinner.
Okay.
And he sat near me. I put him right next to me. I'm like, we're going to enjoy this together. I'm going to enjoy this, and it was so much fun because there was a hostess.
Yeah.
At the hotel in Akron, Ohio, where we had the Hall of Fame dinner, who came up to me and said, "Is that Dick Weber's son?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And she said, "I served Dick Weber in this room."
Wow.
In like 1968. This woman, she was a beautiful woman, and she was like 78, 80 years old.
Wow.
She's been doing that job for 50 years. I'm serious. And she was and she had met Pete when he was like 18.
Okay.
So she was so excited to be able to say, she met Pete, and Pete talked to her for a while, and she remembered Dick Weber being such a statesman. Like they all knew when Dick Weber was in the building because he was so he was iconic already, when he was even at the birth of the TOC.
Yeah.
And so that was a really cool moment, and we've had a lot of them like that through the years.
Well, Dick
Weber, Pete's bowling this tournament,
Yeah,
he's in the
Pete
senior
will be
division.
Here,
He'll be not on that 17th squad. He'll be here for another squad.
I think it's July 1st and 2nd. There's a couple of squads that are a couple of our regional managers, Bobby Jekyll in the Central and Toby Contreras in the Midwest, put together squads with a lot of PBA regional players on them and other players as well. And it's going to be fun watching those squads come in. And that's the thing. You never know. If you just stop up, if you're in the area and just want to see it in person, you never know who you're going to see in person.
If Pete Weber wins the Duke. Oh, here's Sean. So let me get out of here.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
I'm going to get out of here so you can get in here. And have fun. Oh, yeah, have fun with listening to Sean Rash. It's great, once again, like I said before, that to have him here. And you'll pick up something from what he says that'll help your game, guaranteed. And thank you once again, Phil.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Thanks to the fans.
All right, we got Tom Clark. Thanks again, Tom, for sitting in, handing the microphone back to Sean. And I took a walk down there between a couple of games, changing some of the graphics, and, boy, you could not have a more attentive and happier student than you had down there, it seemed like. My goodness.
Oh, man, it's been a blessing to be able to give back a little bit differently in our sport with the coaching aspect over the last decade that ever since I started the clinics. I just want to see the game grow, right? Like top to bottom,
Right.
Male, female, youth, adult, getting people out there to bowl, getting in to learn, try some new things. The gentleman I was just working with, he was like, man, this feels really awkward. And I was like, well, that's good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, as a coach, I want you to be doing something different. Like I want you to experiment to where you can tell if it's good or bad as you can, continue to practice. And, one thing might work and one thing might not, but you got to try.
And you got to get the repetitions in before that then becomes comfortable. It's that tough thing where you can get a lesson, but unless you're going to get the reps in after it, you could easily fall back into bad habits, I guess you could say.
Correct, yeah, and it takes thousands of reps, whether it's a spare shot or alignment change, a foot change, a balance change, whatever it is, and then you got to add all those thousands together, right? So,
right.
I remember Rory, who's been a hot topic in golf over the last few weeks, or last week specifically, but I remember he broke a driver a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and he didn't replace it for the last couple of rounds of the event, and they asked him why not, and he's like, well, I haven't hit it enough. And I'm just like, okay, it's the same thing. Come on, stop. But it's the same thing with us with bowling balls, right? Like, we drill a ball. It might look okay in practice. We might throw it for one fill shot. It looks awful. It never comes back out of the bag. But then a couple of games later, our ball rep's like, hey, where's that ball we drilled?
Right.
And you're like, but it looked awful in the one shot. It wasn't great in practice. Hey, go get it. Okay. So what I missed bowling-wise, any big scores recently?
Well, Matt Westring followed up with another 267 in game 2, but he's fallen off. His spare game's not holding him in there real well here in game 4. Taking a peek down on Lane Talk on 55-6. He's sitting on he's pacing about 180, not even. So he's still going to be around the 900 mark for 4, but obviously, unless you're going 300, you're not going to get up near that 1,500. I'm going to say it's a magic mark. If somebody gets to 1,500, they probably have a pretty good chance in the Open Classic division of if not taking home the title, at least getting to Portland if they take the top 2 or 3 to Portland out of that Open Classic division. So other than that, yeah, a lot of players are getting up near that high end, and it's the little things that are getting him. It's not necessarily that they stop striking, but the shots that don't strike suddenly are no longer 9s and they become 7s and 6s, which are a hell of a lot easier to miss.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the guy earlier that bowled 1496, and he'll be a hot topic for the next couple weeks and the focal point because he's the best scorer. We watched him miss 3 spares in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Where that could have been 15-20 scratch and 15-70 or 80 with handicap. I always like to predict scores. I think that's a winner. Like,
okay.
I was just telling Tom, I don't see the pros bowling 1,500 for 6 games across this building. Now, here I am saying that June 10th, and we come in a month and a week, and 6 guys will probably do it. But that's a lot of strikes. Like,
yeah,
a lot of strikes.
And you guys are going to be under the same rules that these guys and girls are, which is 6 balls at check-in. You guys,
is it? Okay.
You would have to be. You guys, you know, the PBA Tour guys are going to be under the same rules. So, okay, what 6 are you going to bring? Obviously, one's going to be a spare ball for most guys. What are you going to do?
I haven't looked at any of the rules. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if we have a practice session or is it just 6 games and you go? I doubt there is.
Well, you can come up here. They got the last 6 lanes open with the tournament pattern for $50 for 2 hours of practice if you want.
I'm good.
It's okay. But other people I've seen take advantage of that, and
I hope it's helping
throw some good scores. So yeah, so you can bowl on the pattern before you attack it on these lanes. Obviously, they're not going to use those 6 lanes during the entire run of the tournament, but it gives you the general idea about what the rest of the house might be able to play like. So, yeah, taking a look here, Cody Rodner, he's going to be pushing 1,000 by the time he gets done with his 10th frame. He just stepped up. He threw his first one, the 10th. He's down on 42 and 43. I think I got him coming up right here. Let's bring him in the picture. There we go.
Oh, he took advantage. He was practicing
a little earlier
down there earlier in the morning squad. I was coaching. He was right next to me.
Yeah, so he could be around 970.
Is that scratch?
That'll be scratch for 4, yeah.
It's 170. Still needs 70 over the last 2 to beat the scratch division high scorer currently.
That's a nice start for Rodner.
Cody Schmidt's going to be at 915, so he could bowl 530. I want to guess these guys are pretty good buds.
Yep, both from the Elkhart Lake area, about an hour north of here. Cody Schmidt has a 900 to his credit. He shot almost 2 years ago now, it's got to be. Pretty close.
Yeah, he was the one who shot 900 with like the Helios and then 858
like when it came
with
out,
UC3, right? Back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care if you know every lane in the house your parents own or anything like that. You still got to get out and throw 36 to fall to make that happen. I know some people on social, because bowlers, some bowlers have to bowler. We're kind of ripping them on that. I'm like,
those are pretty good scores too on one of the tougher, challenging pairs in the building, 41 and 2, which we have. Yeah.
Can you get fined for saying the wrong thing about a pair in this event? I don't know. I doubt it. Let's not push it.
Yeah, zip. I said tougher pairs in the building.
Yes.
And that's it.
So, that's still got to be a fresh memory, probably a fresh wound in your mind, too, with the World Series of Bowling this year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with my injury to my back this year, nothing really went right this season for me individually. I bowled okay at the Masters, but we didn't bowl a lot of games per day. I was able to use a hot tub. I worked out every day. I was able to stretch every day. Bowled good at the doubles. Had a lot of time off between the players and the doubles because I didn't make the cut. Had a lot of therapy as well with my buddy Michael. And I just, in the last 2 events, I took some medication to numb some pain.
Okay.
And told Ogle I was going to give him all I got. He was bowling really good, and I knew that if I could just contribute, we would make the cut and give it a good run.
So this condition in your back, it's degenerative, so it's never going to get to the point of being
It'll
better.
never heal, correct.
But there's things you can keep doing in order to try to prolong your career?
It's a pain management, medications, injections, chiropractic, masseuse, PT, you name it. We're trying it all. I had some injections in February. I'm getting another injection this Tuesday, actually. I've got a couple of those scheduled over the next few months. And I've been doing PT for the last 3 or 4 weeks on my back with different stretches and workout routines and little things to try to make it better.
Have you set like any type of thing for career, or it's just going to be like, or is it going to be just ride it till
we're going to ride it till it's done.
Okay.
One of the things that I started doing was these coaching events all over the world, whether it's for the military or I was just on last night with James Golding out in Maine. We're doing an event in Portland Thursday, September 21st up at Spare Time. Thanks to Donna, we're going to bring in a bunch of pros, and it's going to be a pretty special event. Also got some more clinics that I'm going to probably be announcing over the next few days. One in California, Southern California. Then we're going to be doing a couple in Colorado. We also have one in August. There's 6 of us going to Salem Bowling Center in Missouri. And going to Europe in September and doing 4 or 5 events in Europe as well. So it's become a pretty good passion of mine to, like I said, grow the game and get people interested in it and love it more and do some different things. And who knows how long that'll last.
Well, and that's the best thing for you is, though, with the coaching is that you're bringing so many other people in, too, that if somebody gets an idea about, let's say you see somebody bowl and you're not 100% sure of what like they could do a little bit physically differently. You can ask somebody else that's with you, like a Wes Malott or whoever, hey, look at this guy. What do you think? And you guys can kind of compare notes on top of it, too. It's not just kind of like a my way or the highway thing that you get. So it seems like with a lot of coaches out there.
Correct, yeah, and that's one of the things I love about the events that we do. We rotate every 30, 45 minutes, so you get to learn or work with a different coach. You and I specifically probably – we have different personalities, but we might coach differently, right? Like you might play 10, I might play 15, and maybe I think your elbow needs to be in. Maybe you think you need your elbow to be a little bit farther out. And I bring two-handed coaches, one-handed. I try to bring some lefties also, because everyone plays the game differently. Everybody sees the game differently, and we all speak to each other differently, right?
Yeah. So trying to see what we got for score. Yeah, some of it's been kind of weird because to watch somebody try to put 6 consistent games across the board here, across the house. Haven't really seen players do it. We see a lot of hot starts like we saw at Westring, and now he's settling down. And, last week with C.J. Petrin, 789 for his first 3, and then his last 2 games he's 40 under. And he still put up 1441, which is amazing. So, yeah, just looking around on Lane Talk right now. And
I'm guessing that the 2 that are going to be the ones to watch are Corey and the other gentleman that are probably on 47.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where Westring moved to. He's got to be near.
Westring's on 55.
Yeah, so and he just finished. He's at 9.7. Yeah, so he's really slowed down. He's at 9.17. So he'll probably be on 63 and 64 next game. So one of the interesting things, we were talking about the PBA earlier before you left, and the number of young players that are coming in that you got to basically stay ahead of nowadays. The regional I was at in Lockport a couple of weeks ago. My goodness, there was guys like Jerry Mars there, Midwest regional guy in his early and mid 40s, and he was like in the upper 10% of the age range in that field. I mean, the number of young either players that were still in college bowling as a guest or just got out of college and just got their PBA, it was astounding how many young players were out there. And it's kind of cool for the health of the PBA in general because it shows that people want to be a member of this organization when they're done with their college careers. Or we've even seen some young players. You had Eric Jones out bowling PTQs all season long. I mean,
Correct.
Eric just out of high school and he's already out there, getting the experience bowling PTQs, which is a tough way to get bowling knowledge.
Yeah, no, that is for sure. I mean, I would say I'm one of the 10 oldest guys on tour now. It's kind of scary. When I came out in 2005, I wasn't the youngest, but I was definitely one of the younger players. But now guys that are older than me on tour are Tommy Jones, Bill, Wes, Barnes, Hess, and Smallwood, Ronnie Russell, and I'm stretching to try to find a few more bodies.
Exactly.
Dick Allen.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to fathom that I'm one of the oldest 10 on tour at my age, and I'm only 40.
Yeah, and it's just the days where in, let's say, the early 2000s, that type of thing, you'd see a lot of guys in the 40 to 50-year-old range still out there winning majors. Was it because of the lane conditions? Just
it had a little bit to
then,
do
or?
with the exempt tour as well, right? The exempt tour kept guys out there a little bit longer.
Okay.
As long as you stayed in the top 40 in points, and you had to make your cuts when you made your cuts, and points were huge depending on what events you bowled. And I think you could see some of that moving forward in us, but it's all a matter of what the direction the PBA is going to go moving forward.
Looking at, guys, if you have questions, if you're watching us on YouTube, or we can check you out on Facebook as well, see if there's any questions for Sean. If you have any questions, leave them for him. I'm not going to repeat the comments of one Nick Wilkerson. If he was here in person, I don't think he'd say it. So just a 10-pin. You said 10-pin choker. He called.
Yeah.
So
I've missed 2 of them. You know what? We all miss them.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that I did miss them. Don't question how much I feel about it. Trust me, it hurts.
So, well, and you're not the only person I can remember that missed a 10-pin for a title. Mika Koivuniemen
missed it for the U.S. Open title.
And with Norm sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I missed it before Dick needed a double.
Yeah.
Dick, of course, then rolled the 2-pin. First one was dead flush. Then he rolled the 2-pin. And then he got 6, and then he got 8 to win by 1. So and then I missed this, just recently, and Packy still needed the mark and threw it good, of course. But if I make it, it changes the whole scenario. It is what it is.
What makes you and Ogle so good together? You look at your consistent finishes even after you won in Shawnee a few years back. Because that was year 1 of the partnership, wasn't it?
Second year, actually.
That was second year, okay.
We bowled a year before that. Made the show, won, bowled one more year together. Didn't make it. That was an Indy. He beat me 13 of the 14 games. I didn't beat him until game 14. I just didn't strike in Indy. He bowled fine. And then the last 4 years, we've made the show, or 3 years, whatever it is. Made the show this year, lost to Packy. Made the show last year, lost to EJ and Marshall. They went in to win. The year before, we made the show and lost to Kyle and Jesper. Then they lost the next match, and Prather and Andrew ran it up. So, yeah, we've had a nice little run the last 5-6 years. And
now, of course, the only other doubles tournament on that awards a PBA title coming up on the schedule as well, and that's the Lucy.
Yep.
The
I just need to show it for her too, right? Stephanie's one of the best bowlers in the world on the women's tour. Just won here a couple weeks ago. Bowled really good this morning. She's currently in 5th on the event out there in Cleveland. We're actually working on some jersey designs right now. So got to send those in to Coolwick and get those set up for the Lucy Bonneau mixed doubles to help support Donna Connors and breast cancer and all that other fun stuff down there in Houston at the end of July.
Yeah, and that's, the one thing about that tournament, honestly, is it's just such a community that comes together that raises a lot of money for that specific event. And there's bowlers that just get out there to bowl because they want to bowl. They want a chance to bowl with you and a Stephanie or somebody on their pair. And they know it would take a miracle for them to get there, but they're just enjoying the experience they get with it, too.
Yeah,
it's really cool the way that everybody comes together for that. Nobody's, you don't see anybody going, oh, I don't have a chance. It's like, I'm getting out here, I'm bowling, I'm having fun, and I'm supporting a cause, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, I've bowled it 15 to 20 years now, and I can't think of one year really I've made a lot of money in that event. And I finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th multiple times with Liz when I bowled with Liz for over a decade. And we're there for the cause. We're there for the reason of the event and everything else. So.
EJ switching partners again this year to try to win? He keeps winning with everybody.
I don't know. Yeah, he's won.
I haven't heard who he's bowling with yet.
I think he's bowling with Danielle again.
Okay.
Or who did he win with last? No, he's
Deandra last year.
Yeah, he's not bowling with Deandra. Yeah, I do know that.
So.
Actually, he might be. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'll have to. I haven't seen a roster yet, so. And talk about EJ and the year he's had. My goodness.
Who's above average? he had a nice run.
He had a 5-year run in 3 months. Just that, and you just look at him, Simo and Belmo. You just go, okay, these are 3 guys you have to deal with week in and week out to try to get a title. That's as tough as it's been in 15 years, I bet.
Yeah, Belmo and I, and you could add a third body there for a half a decade. It could have been anybody, but between 2011 and 2016, Belmo and I made almost every single show.
Yeah.
I know I get overlooked on a lot of those stats, but since 2012, Belmo's got the most titles, EJ's got the second most, and I have the third most. And it's amazing to sound cocky or arrogant here for a second, how much I get overlooked, but I win the smaller events. I haven't won the majors that I probably should have won. I've lost 6 or 7 of them in the last decade. I've bowled for the title in all of them. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a few more major titles, but getting there is half the battle, if not more than half the battle. And I put myself in position. I'm proud of it. But what those guys have done, it's been pretty impressive. And now we got Simonson. His last 5-year run's been pretty strong, and it's impressive to see the youth and how great some of the next up and comers are.
Well, don't sell yourself short. Tom said if you're not a first ballot Hall of Famer in a few more years, there's something wrong.
We'll see.
So,
that's up to my peers. I'll leave it up to them.
I get a vote on that too as media, so don't worry.
Yeah.
That vote will be there, guarantee you.
It's kind of the same thing with USBC, right? Like, I actually went up for nomination, or I haven't been up for nomination yet, but I'm eligible. Started last year, and I have no idea how it works. I know that Tommy's up for he could be nominated. Barnes.
Yeah.
There's a handful of us that could be in the USBC Hall of Fame. If it happens one day, it happens. I know that I've had a great career on and off the lanes. I've got a beautiful family.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of cool stuff on the lanes. I've seen a lot of great places in the world. And I've done a lot of things to hopefully, I think, help make the sport better.
You were just in Japan and Korea, right?
I was
Recently?
in Japan in January.
Okay.
I was in Europe last December, going back to Europe in September to bowl the Lucky Larson. And I've got 5 or 6 clinics in the UK and in Germany as well after that.
Martin Larson says that if a team with a bunch of they should move the PBA League 1 year over to where they bowl where his team bowls Swedish League.
It would be unbelievable. They do that for fun.
Yeah.
There's no trophies. Well, they have a trophy at the end. There's no money involved. It's unbelievable.
It's insane. I've heard stories. I'd love to go see that just once. So I'd like to go. Yeah, I mean, and the unique format on the Lucky Larson too, with the qualifying squads you have to go through, and multiple qualifying squads, and it's an interesting format as well.
I'd like to see it happen on the PBA Tour once, to where we have $120 entries and have like 5 or 6 squads to qualify.
Yeah.
See how many guys chase it,
Yeah.
right? Because there's buys in some of them, and I know the event that we bowled in Thailand. I bowled till 3 or 4 in the morning sometimes because the squads would run so long because there's so many, just to try to get the buys because you're guaranteed into the finals. And it'd be pretty unique. It takes the pros 2, 3, 4 tries normally in these European events to make the cut, if not get a buy, because you got to travel, and it's not easy to travel and get off that plane and be fresh and put up a score that's going to hold up.
Yeah. In some of these tournaments, like I know there was at least one in Korea where did you have to put up at least like 3 different, your highest
That's
three-game blocks? Yeah, Thailand. Yeah. So you can't get over there too late where all of a sudden you're out of squads.
Correct. Yeah, like I said, I bowled till 3 o'clock in the morning, back-to-back nights with my dad, watching me just to hang out. Just because nobody else is bowling, or you can't get in the squads earlier that day.
Let's take a look at the guys here on 27 and 28, a little bit of a spotlight pair that we have here near the booth. And a couple of these guys still playing well to the outside part of the lane. It just goes to show that there's no one way to play this PBA LBC pattern. And Nathan right there having a little success early on.
Front 3, bowled 839 for 4.
And it's always tough making the turn in the house. You go from the high end here at Bolero down to the low end, and definitely you see a little bit of different ball motion from making that move. It seems to always be a little earlier rolling, I think, down on this end of the house, if I remember correctly. Kind of smooths out the motion on the back end. There's Jabrali Coy, and he's a little more to the left, but still. And they're not using real aggressive equipment, are they?
No, no one in the building is throwing urethane or really big, strong bowling balls.
Yeah.
And having success. Front 6 there?
Yeah, Randy Lazinski. Let's see. I should be able to get a peek in on him here. We'll do a little roundabout work around.
Can we bring him up on the
Oh, yeah.
here in front?
Let's see here.
Getting ready to bowl on the left here, folks.
Voila. Ask and you will receive. I got a few tricks up my sleeve when it comes to this technology stuff.
Strike, spare, strike, open.
Yeah,
3
Western,
back.
yeah.
So Randy is 100 under for 4.
He's hit a lot of the PBA 50 events in the Midwest over the last few seasons.
Down and in player playing 10.
Oh,
no.
it's all our fault. Sorry, Randy. Didn't mean to spotlight you there. My goodness.
What a great shot.
I keep waiting for somebody one of these days just to fall over in the approach like Randy Peterson, just stay there for a while. Stone 8, down they go. That's another guy, USBC Hall of Fame, that's gotten kind of overlooked a bit the last couple of years. I know he was nominated, and he's never made it in. But I'm sure it's a different rationale for the USBC than it is for the PBA Hall of Fame. As you said, most of the voters for the PBA Hall of Fame are your peers. I'm not sure. I know there's some media members that make up the USBC Hall of Fame voting. And
yeah, I'm not sure. I have someone that's asked me if they want me to be nominated by them, and it's up to them, right? Like, if you want to nominate me, great. I'll take it. I don't know. Like I said, if I go in, I go in.
Yeah.
I know I've had a great career, done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, every time you wake up in the morning and go down, I'm sure there's a trophy room in the Rash household. No trophy room.
I got trophies all over, though.
Okay.
My wife wants to build one. We want to move. We want to do something different.
Okay.
And so they're collecting dust in certain parts of the house. Try to clean them up, but
the girls don't ever want to take them to show and tell or anything at school,
no,
do they?
they haven't asked for that yet. They've taken some bowling memorabilia stuff, though, but no trophies yet.
What's the coolest piece of bowling memorabilia you own that's not your own?
Oh, I don't even. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
Okay. I've got a Liz Johnson autographed Peterson pin.
Well, she's won that twice, so.
Yeah. So her picture's up on the other side of the building here. So I got an autograph. Yeah.
I should bowl a Peterson today or tomorrow morning.
There's got to be. Somebody's got to have a squad tomorrow.
Bowl at 9 a.m. I don't even know what squad times are, but
yeah, they're all. It depends on when they set them up. But this morning there was a 9 a.m. squad. I would think some of these people are bowling right now. Might be bowling at 9 a.m. tomorrow. You can survey the crowd once they're done with this. Once they're done with their bowling here.
I really don't want to throw the ball 8 games in a row at the head pin, though.
Just let it fly.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do that anymore with my back. It's a little bit more focused on that.
A little more. Well, and you said it this morning too. You were when you're trying to use finesse a little bit more, it's not easy for you to finesse it like deep inside because your hips don't do it to go with the back. So,
well, man, here's got some rev rate.
Yeah, let's get back to that 27 and 8 here.
8 spare 4-bagger. Struggled the first 4, but man, he's got a very quick hand, we say.
It's always amazing. One of the most amazing things when I'm out watching you guys bowl on the tour is how quickly you guys can make an adjustment. Like you land on a new pair, you know if you made a good or bad shot, and then you make that adjustment. All of a sudden, hey, here's your, you stay clean the first 3-4 frames. All of a sudden, hey, here's a 6-bagger, and I got 230 going. It's just amazing the difference between what you guys do as professionals and what a lot of these players would be doing out here when they make the move. It's phenomenal.
Some of it comes with the risk reward, right? Like, got to take a risk to have a good reward sometimes.
Dan Morandini made a comment on Facebook about coaching and motion changes. Motion change has to feel bad before it feels good.
Amen to that.
See, all this LBC bowling, I got my stuff on the shelf at home. I got to get it back off the shelf. It's been a couple of years. I got no excuse now. Pandemic, I was a little careful because of the parents at COPD and stuff like that, and so I just kind of played it cautious, but I'm getting the itch. This is giving me the itch again. Watching everybody out here at the LBC. Maybe I don't think I could do Open Classic, though. I don't think it'd be that good a competition after a couple of years on the shelf. Just come firing right out. I can do senior, though. I'm old enough. I can do Senior Classic.
What's leading the senior division right now?
1356.
Is that with handicap?
No handicap in the Senior Classic. That is a scratch division. So
It's got to be 50 and over?
50 and over. And I know there's a couple of Tom Clark and I were talking, there's going to be a couple of pretty big squads coming in July 1st and 2nd with Bobby Jekyll and Toby Contreras, the regional managers, putting them together. P. Weber is bowling as a senior in the LBC. So, yeah, so Pete will be here bowling. I don't know exactly what squad. See, there's your trip. I know it's July 1st and 2nd, one of those 2 days.
I know of a couple lefties back home that are seniors that should probably bowl.
Yeah. And once again, it's like all the other divisions. If you're finishing the top of that division, it's $5,000 for first place, and the trip to Bayside for your chance to take down your part of $100,000 out at Bayside.
That's amazing.
Have you ever thrown one ball for $100,000?
Ooh. No.
Because like Master, what's the?
I bowled one game for the Masters.
And that was
for 100.
That was $100,000 at the
that
time.
Was here in 2007.
Yeah.
Bowled the Players Championship against Belmo for 100. The year before, of course, was 250. Thank you, PBA. Appreciate you. Well, same thing at TSC. I won a TSC for 100 the year before. I believe was 250.
250, yeah.
Pretty sure Mika won the year before I did, if I'm not mistaken.
With 250, yeah. In what was that 13? No, 14?
12, 11.
12, 11, yeah.
11, 12. I won in 12.
12, so.
I want to say Mika won in 11.
11, yep. That was the Doherty 100 game.
So 2 years in two different events at different times in my career. 150,000 difference for first and 70,000 difference for second. So a couple 100,000.
Yeah.
Pays for a kid.
There's a kid through community college. Well, maybe not community college, something a little bit more. But
I live in Chicago. It's a little expensive.
It's that makes EJ's money won this year even more impressive, because if you think about it, with Kyle Troop, when he set the money record just under 500,000, 250, and he got 100,000 for the PBA playoffs.
Yeah, but
so
our players was basically the playoffs. There was the 100,000 that Eugene won, or Eugene's son Kevin won. The players this year, EJ didn't win that one, so you can't go. No. He won the other majors.
Right.
It still paid 100,000 when Kyle won. So still impressive.
Yeah, over $450,000, and
he's not done yet, right?
Yeah.
There's still a couple events this year. I don't think he can break the record. I don't think
he'd have to win everything to do it. After now,
I don't know if he can.
After not winning the players. Well, it's
30 for the Tour Finals and 10 for the Lucy and a special event.
Does the league money count in that too?
Yeah, but that's only 10.
That's only 10. Okay.
That's 50.
Yeah.
Another 10 for the event in Detroit. So I think he can only get the 470 or 480.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he needed to win in New Jersey in order to get there.
My guy here on 28, watch his hand motion.
Boom.
Stone 9, 4-pin.
I'd love to see the rev rate on Specto on that guy, because he's pushing over 5 easy.
I don't know about 5, but it's definitely close to it.
Okay.
It's more than mine. I know that.
Well, that's everybody nowadays.
Oh, yeah, true. My 440 rev rate don't match up much.
Like it's just how the game's changed, where you've gone from, and it's just the natural progression of the sport and how bowlers have become more educated and learning how to do
father
apply
time
rev rates.
too.
Well, and father time too, yeah. But to still maintain that type of rev rate at the age of 40 is impressive. I mean, there's plenty of guys out there that have lost a bit. You see even guys like PETA, they're pushing 60 now, that don't have the rev rate.
Yeah, no, when I came out, I was well over 500. Yeah. Had no idea where it was going to a certain degree. But
here's a question from Justin. He's asking what your practice routine is like now.
Justin, how you doing?
Yeah.
My practice routine is actually very simple. I'm not a very long person practice, quantity. I'm more of a quality practice. I get to the bowling center and I do my stretches, turn on a couple lanes. I throw 5 to 15 shots at 50, 60, 70% just to get the body moving, continue to stretch during that entire time. And then I just, focus on shooting spares back and forth and strike shots after the spare shots. I'm very fortunate not to spend a lot of money on practice games, put it in that term. So I want to get my money's worth in the short amount of time I do practice. So half hour to an hour max. I don't bowl a lot.
Yeah.
Right now I'm not bowling really at all because of my back, but before tour, it's 3, 4, 5 days a week. When there's some time off, once a week, once every couple weeks.
Okay.
I honestly am not going to throw another ball until Bowl Expo after today, which is in 18, 19 days from now.
Yep.
So,
Family going with? I mean, it's Orlando and
yeah.
Disney.
So I'm taking 16 people to Disney World. One day.
Sean's pushing out retirement another year after that trip.
I'm looking for retirement money. I could start a GoFundMe account for my Disney trip. So my family's going, my parents, Sarah's dad, her mother and stepdad and his family is going. And then my brother-in-law, Sarah's brother, and his family are going.
Okay.
So 16 of us going.
Big old condo somewhere? Or
we rented a house.
Rented a house? Okay.
7-bedroom house for $3,000 for like 9 or 10 days.
I was going to say more than your mortgage payment at home for a
yes,
week. Yeah.
yep.
It's compared to a month. Is he going to roll 2? Not
but
this time.
But we're about 5 miles from Disney, very close. So one of the reasons we're taking everybody is my youngest daughter, Elena, will be turning 3 on June 29th, as well as my mom's birthday is the same day. And we'll just mention she's in her
late 40s.
Yeah, something like that.
Your mom had some good beef jerky during the World Series.
Yeah,
that was good stuff. Your mom
I feel like I have some friends on tour only because my mom gives them jerky.
or bake or
when
other
they're not
baked
around,
goods.
they don't talk to me, so it's kind of awesome. It's been great on tour the last year and a half. I found out who my true friends were out here. It's been real fun. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're all somewhat cordial with each other.
Yeah.
It's an individual sport, so it's hard to really want to see a lot of people have success over you because it's how we make our money and it's our living. So.
All right, we're going to get a short information. We're going to get a couple of good players high on the squad back in our coverage in Game 6 with Matt Westering and Benji Martinez. They're both going to need huge scores in order to get into the lead. Actually, Matt would have to throw 300 to tie for the lead, and Benji Martinez is going to have to throw in the 280s. Benji's at 1155, so 155 over for 5. Westering's at 141.
The other guy, they bowl this game. Can you see him? Where are they at?
Rodner's, he's in the 7th frame.
Struggling.
Well, he might get the
max.
Yeah, so 220 max, so that would get him close to 200 over.
So.
Yeah. So that would get Rodner close to 200 over. So he'd still have a
he's got the
decent
best
shot
chance in the squad.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think we'll get him. We'll have to do a roundabout way to get Rodner. But, let's take a little break here. Sean and I will be back with Game 6 once we get some player movement onto our spotlight pair, because I know we'll get I think that's where we're going to get our 2022 Midwest Player of the Year, Benji Martinez, on. All right, game 6 underway. As we mentioned, a couple of bigger names on the squad with Benji Martinez, Matt Westring should be coming down. Rodner will keep an eye on. He's at still got a chance, outside chance to get in the number 1 spot, but it's going to take a huge last game. He can't get anything together past a double in game 5. I'm $2 Phil. He's Sean Rash. Let's see if we got any more questions for Sean in the. I can't translate. Unfortunately, somebody's asking something in a.
You couldn't tell
Far
you what
East.
language that
Is that Korean? It
might
looks
be
like-
Korean,
it
maybe
looks like
Japanese, maybe Chinese.
Korean. Yeah, it looks like Korean. Sometimes some of the characters I've seen when in Korean. Whoever it is, thanks for watching. Hopefully, you're enjoying your view in. I don't have my Google Translate. Hold on. Let's see if we can use technology to our advantage here. Let's see if Google Translate can come through for me here.
See, good luck.
Camera.
All right, so Matt, spare double, 1160. He's going to bowl nice set today. Close to the 1400 number. Phil, can you bowl more than once?
Absolutely not.
No, just one time, huh?
One time, you get your 6 games, and you're good till next year.
All right. Somebody asked me that earlier, and I did not know the answer.
I'm going to guess to the translation it's going to be Korean. Let's see if it comes through for me. And that's not coming through for me. So much for technology.
Switch Korean, English. Switch
Oh,
that.
That's a good idea. Why would
There you go.
Oh, you're my hero.
Nice shot. Oop, my bad.
Something about finger lines and elbow rotation.
Yep, no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
All
the
right.
bad part.
Benji has made the turn, 31-2, I believe.
Yep.
Good pair. That's where no,
Let's
Matt
get
started
there.
on 33-4. Spare 3-bagger. Matt's going to put up a nice number today.
Yeah, that'll be a nice.
Probably get a nice check.
I'll have to. I don't know if they're bowling. If he's bowling the Pearson tomorrow or not. This is I'm trying to see if I can find his son Alex here. I don't know where they ran off to. Maybe they're not. Maybe they got bored with Dad and they took off. Oh no, there's Alex. I can see him right now.
He's coaching.
Probably. He just got named Oklahoma under 10 Youth Player of the Year by their state association. So the bowling talent runs in the family.
Who's the better bowler? The kid or the dad?
Oh, I'd say the kid. I've seen Alex. Well, he's a he's a twisting two-hander. They're always showing highlights of him making splits.
Ooh, flat ring 10. Kind of a half 6 pin in the channel there. So Benji needs 290 plus to win.
Yeah.
The spot for now, but I'm going to go on a limb and say he's probably not going to bowl 290 plus. But he could. You never know. He hasn't started yet. But we haven't seen a lot of big scores in that pair. All right, lane 32. Here we go. Phil, what do you got over under this game for Benji? He's averaging 231.
245. I'm going
245.
to say he's going to take the.
That looks pretty good. High flush split the 8-9.
Yeah, Benji Martinez last year on the Midwest Regional Tour. Lots of cashes, a couple of wins, 3 wins to be exact, including winning the Peterson here the Midwest regional
so
that they had
that would
here.
be his 4th. There's 4 number 1s on there.
Yeah. So
Pretty impressive year.
one in Anderson, one in Lake of the Ozarks, and one another tournament in Missouri at Bolero Lakeside.
13,000 or so in the regionals, 9-10 tournaments. Here he is for a double, possibly. So far, so good. 9 more and takes the lead.
And he's one of those guys that just when he gets out to try to hit the PTQs, it just wasn't a pleasant experience for him this year. His highest PTQ finish.
Kokomo Classic,
yeah.
13th.
Yeah, 13th in the PTQ. And so
They both good in the doubles, though, him and his partner.
Right.
They finished 8th.
He had enough points from the year before to make it into the World Series of Bowling without the qualifier, or he maybe had an international exemption because he would have been eligible for that, being from Guadalajara, Mexico originally.
Yeah, I think he got one of the international exemptions, I believe.
Yeah, so his only cash in 23 on the tour was at the Roth-Holman doubles in Delaware, 8th place finish with him and his partner. And yeah, it's not easy to get out of the PTQs.
No, it is not.
Is Lubbock on the? Lubbock's not on the super regional schedule this year, is it?
I don't believe so. No.
I know Coldwater is. I know Virginia is.
So's
I have to go back and look at that press release.
I can't remember if Jonesboro is or not.
Jonesboro's got a PBA
Senior,
50,
yeah.
a senior super regional. So Stacy and Turtle and all the gang down in Jonesboro. Hopefully get to run down there and see them again. Yeah, like the unsung heroes of the PBA Tour are the hosts. I mean, they really are.
Very, very true. Without our hosts, it is hard to have events, number one. And we've had some great hosts through the years.
Absolutely. Oh, one of my favorite hosts is Parkside Lanes, down where you get a lot of practice in, down in Aurora. So
I've had a lot of people ask me when I'm going to do it again. It comes with a lot of time, and it comes with trying to ask people for a lot of money to do it.
I was cleaning out my closet the other day, and I came across a Flow Bowling T-shirt.
Front 3 for Benji.
And went in the donation bin. I'm just going to leave it at that.
He needs 8 more.
I said 240. I may be on the
240. I was going to say the under, but right now he's on pace to. He's got 250, 260 ball reaction. Looks like. I'm sure he's probably upset with a few shots earlier on, but
it's never easy crossing a house, especially as different as this one can be. Yeah. Yeah. Whoever wins their respective division out of the 5 in this tournament will have earned it. There's a gentleman bowling on 27 and 28. The shirt he's wearing reminds me of like if somebody would have been bowling a PBA event in like 1961 with the smaller name on the back and the button-down style.
The old guys with the tie in their front shirt.
Yeah. Well, here's a question I asked Norm last week, speaking of things like that, because we got into talking about Earl Anthony and a few other, and Dick Weber and a few other old players. If you were born in 1942, would you have been as good of a professional bowler on lacquer with a hard rubber ball as you are nowadays with reactive resin? Do you think that it transgresses generations? A good bowler in one generation still would have been a good bowler in another?
That's a tough call. I think how my game has transitioned to being harder and straighter, I probably would have been okay because I throw it hard and straight now, right?
Yeah.
More than I slow hook it.
Right.
Back then, ball speed and power and accuracy was definitely an advantage, especially the ball speed, trying to get pins to dance. All right, Benji didn't like it. It didn't look like front 4, right? He kind of leaned to the right.
It's a little forgiving. Yeah, it's still a little forgiving. It's not, like as you said before, it's not a PBA Tour type pattern, but Norm said it reminded of if Chameleon would be just a hair softer than the Tour Chameleon. where there were different angles to play. And
the original Scorpion was 42 feet.
okay.
The year I won on Scorpion my second year on tour, I believe it was Scorpion. I won on Cheetah and Scorpion. I won on Scorpion in Medford, I believe. It was one of Wes Malotte's favorite patterns. It was definitely one of the higher scoring patterns. You had Cheetah, then Scorpion, Chameleon, then Viper, and then Shark. Viper and Shark were definitely two of the hardest, but also could be Shark could be easy based on where we bowled and everything else. Oh, we got a lane breakdown, lane 33.
Ooh.
Oh, they're done bowling.
Oh, yeah, they're done already. Wow.
I was to say maybe that
They only had 3 on that pair. That's why.
could slow down Benji with a lane breaker, but only one lane's down. So
Yeah. Yeah, it does
All right.
say they're done bowling. So
yeah, 7 more frames for Benji.
That'd be
7
a
more strikes he would need, I would
That'd
think.
be a story for the day. We already have one with a 300 game involving getting a player in the lead with Hunter Lawless in the men's handicap division. Hey, let's get the Open Class division with a winner with a new lead change on a 300 game. Yeah, Benji's one of those guys that has a job with KR down in the Chicagoland area, and you know, the great ownership down there lets a lot of their guys bowl in events, work around
Oh, he's running it
the
out.
schedule.
Oh, he pulled it a little bit. Like hit up on it, left the 310 split. I think that's why he was running it out, as he knew that he
Gave it a little extra.
gave it a little extra for some reason. So
Yeah, it's amazing the number of guys that are following the Tour Dream that have some type of gig, many of them bowling company related, and can still, they work in sales and they talk to the, they work for a distributor and they're talking to the pro shops while they're on the road and all that stuff. It's neat how, kids like Benji can
Get out
chase
and
the
bowl a
dream that
little bit,
may
yeah.
not have been affordable for him or his family, or trying to get sponsors together, because sponsors, are there any bowlers nowadays on tour that still have sponsors?
not that, I know
That
of.
are not like,
There's a couple, I believe, on the senior tour, but
yeah.
I don't know of anybody off the top of my head that has a actual sponsor.
Right. So yeah, so these these kids are digging money together for jobs like
It's
Benji
hard to
has,
be out
and,
here.
yeah. If you can get out here and do well, you can make chasing that second income down.
What's the
Not much of a
leading
necessity.
score for the youth right now?
I haven't seen a separate youth yet.
The kid
I
bowling
know.
with Benjamin, part of the PBA junior program, it looks like. He's got 80 or 90 over currently.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they have to
Ooh, back-to-back
enter as
open
either,
frames possibly for Benjamin. Missed it to the right, leaves the 1-2-10.
Yeah, they would have to either enter an Open Classic or men's handicap in that case for.
Isn't there a youth division or no? Am I
No,
wrong?
it's Rule 400, so they bowl.
Oh, okay. So Spencer, Open
Yeah,
Classic.
Open Classic,
Okay.
yeah.
So
But-
he's at 1080, but he's got double, spare double. He's throwing it nicely.
I mean, your youth career was finishing up right around when a lot of times the bigger scholarship tournaments really started getting popular. What's the most you won
I
in
stuck
a
around. Nice
tournament?
spare there by Benji when I said he's going to open, of course. But I stayed in youth bowling longer than I probably should have. I was also trying to chase the 300 record, which I tied, and then it got broken, of course. I bowled 1 year at the Teen Masters. I qualified at the Battle of Little Creek, finished in the Final Four, lost to Mark DeRico. It was one of the first times I met Dave Schroeder, our ex-tournament director, whatever you call him, on the TV set, and one of the first times I met all the pros in Virginia. Pretty cool experience to get my feet wet, so to say.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money in scholarships all over the country, Vegas, Junior Gold, you name it. My own event, of course, I made some money in that.
Yeah.
I basically bowled everything I could bowl. I got experience that way, and I could have gone adult sooner. Probably should have. Bowled for money and made more money, but just chose a different path.
Yeah. And now with, there was a lot of kids that were doing that for a while.
Oh.
But now with the rule change that, basically you're turning 18 with the USBC and you're up
Yeah.
into adult competition. I mean, there's still enough tours out there that run. Some of them run a division for kids up to 21 or even 23 years old, I've seen in some cases. It is what it is.
Yeah. Benji goes high again. Almost had a pin stand back up in front of the 3-pin. Or no, that's the 9-pin. So he 4-7-9. The 3-pin or 6-pin almost fell down and stood back up, which I've had happen a few times. It's not pleasant.
Remember Andrew Anderson in Syracuse during the Masters run he had. How about that for the cover?
Back tough spare conversions.
Is that something you can actually practice for in practice, or you just got to wait?
4-7-9? Yeah, no, you can shoot it. You shoot the 4-7. You try to slide the 4 over.
Try not to touch the 8 then?
Try not to touch the 8, yeah.
Okay. So you can do that in practice.
Same thing like practicing washouts on a full rack. You know, if you can get the head pin to go straight across the deck and miss the 3-6.
Okay.
Good shot there on 27 by Jeremy West.
Yeah, lots of players finishing up, and yeah, I think a lot of players that are, if they walk out of here on the day and they're in the Open Classic division and they're 200, 220 over, I think they might be getting a check out of this. Walk out of this at 14-20. It'll be a nice little check at the end of the event.
It's 235, 240 average. That's pretty solid bowling. It's just
it's not the lead.
Our leader's going to stay in the lead.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Zeke Bate,
CJ
37 a second.
Yeah, Zeke Bate had a nice – and Zeke was probably the most consistent out of everybody's runs that I saw. Because he had 14.37 in his high game. What did he have for a high game? Oh, he did have a 289 for a high game. So –
the show game by game on there?
No, it doesn't show game by game. It only shows the high game on the League Pals results. And, Ryan Zagar, another Midwest player. He was about.
Is that his brother that's third, Dustin Zagar?
No, I'm not sure. I think that's Dustin Zahner from Creating the Difference.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Dustin had a pretty good day. I know he was bowling with Ron Hicklin and Ron's dad, and
they're taking the top 3 from the Open division, correct?
I believe so, to go to Bayside. So
1441 is a pretty nice number to have in your pocket.
And he gave back 40 in the last 2. That was the tough part. Yeah. Yeah, he had a shot in the 10th frame of his final game that left the 4-6, and it looked like he was in the pocket. All of a sudden, here's a 4-6, and then I was recording it, and I felt really bad. I usually don't. That one I felt guilty about.
So Benji stepping up, 243 max, can bowl 1398.
Yep.
Put him in the top 10 currently. I'm guessing there's some information coming out soon about PBA League Draft and all that other fun stuff. I don't know if Tom shared any of that, but
no, he didn't.
As a player, I know we're antsy for it.
Right. Especially September is going to be here sooner than you know it.
Correct.
So if anybody wants to follow Sean Rash on social media, he's all over the place. You got your Insta?
On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Sean Rash
trying to do a little bit more on YouTube. I've posted 3 videos today. One about my favorite drink at Starbucks, and then coming over here to watch. And then we were fortunate enough to watch 2 different 300s, so I posted both of those because that was pretty cool to watch.
It was pretty cool. So I thought we'd get the size of this squad and the talent of the squad. I thought we'd get at least one, but we didn't even get a run past like the 7th frame.
Yeah, I think this young man here on 31 and 32 is going to bowl 279, and that's going to be the high game of the day.
Yeah. Let's see what Benji Martinez can do to finish getting into the 10th.
Minimum 230. Look, your number would have been off.
Yeah, I would have lost.
I would have won.
I went the over on the 245.
How would I have known?
That's why I don't bet sports.
Betting sports is fun. You could almost bet a boatload of money on Denver to win the NBA championships on Monday night, too.
Yeah, that's got to be as close to one would think is a sure thing the way they've looked in that series. And then,
I kind of feel like they let them win game 2 so they could win back at home.
Take the title. Yeah, take the title on there. And Martinez with the big finish. So, hey, Sean, thanks for sitting in with us on this block.
Thanks for having me. And appreciate the.
Yeah, see if Sean's going to have a clinic near you. I mean, all the other professionals, PBA and PWBA, he brings in with him. I'll tell you what, it's worth every penny you'll spend on that clinic, and you're going to learn a ton of information that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else.
Yeah, thanks for that, Phil. It's nice, over the next 6 months. We'll be in Missouri, we'll be in Colorado, we'll be in California, we'll be in Maine, we'll be in the UK, we'll be in Germany, and I'm guessing there'll be a couple more that pop up around, hopefully more local, Indiana, Illinois, or in Wisconsin. So,
all right.
Looking forward to giving back. I appreciate the PBA asking me to be here this weekend and helping support the inaugural PBA LBC National Championships, and we'll wrap it up here, see what Spencer does here in the 10th frame.
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of fans on the way out the door. You're going to be looking for another picture with you if they didn't get a chance yet, and all that. Absolutely. And that's the best part. If you're in the neighborhood, stop by the PBA LBC National Tournament. You never know who you're going to see here, whether it's on the lanes, like a Benji Martinez up in Rising Star. Heck, you might even see Pete Weber in the near future on the lanes, and you never know who's going to be in the booth with me. Today was Sean.
Oh, look at that. That's for 260.
Yeah.
69 would have been 78, 79. He can bowl 13.57 if he strikes out.
Right. Just outside the top 10. But once again,
yeah, 12, 13.
It's not going to be a horrendous day. You'll see a little check coming in your mailbox in August sometime. Once all the tabulations are complete and Bolero's accounting department sends everything out to everyone.
Yang.
That's the one thing about Bolero's accounting department. They are timely. I'll give them credit for that.
Due diligence. Due diligence.
Yes. They do a great job. So once again, 2 o'clock tomorrow, our next squads. On YouTube, there's no main feed, so you'll just be able to follow your players as they go pair to pair. Our next main feed will be next Saturday. 2 p.m. is when it's scheduled for. Pro to be determined yet. And look for the information. If you haven't already liked the PBA LBC National Championship Facebook page, do that. That's where we're putting all the information, all the tournament updates. You get to see Sean's interview with our handicap division leader for the men, Hunter Lawless. That just got posted on there. You can see Hunter's recap of his day, and hey, maybe you might learn a little information that helps you when you take the lanes for the PBA LBC National Championship.
One of the last shots for 279. Young man, can't be more than 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Pretty solid game.
You got to love the PBA junior program. What Mike Sleds and everyone has done, Tom Clark have done with that in such a short period of time. And to get these kids recognized as national champions on TV is just phenomenal.
Running it out. A little firm, a little wide, but 277. Nice game, young man. 1354 total.
That'll be some scholarship cash, no doubt about it. Hey, Sean, thanks for sitting in. Appreciate
Phil.
it. This is going to end our mainstream feed. Join us next Saturday for more action here from Bolero Wauwatosa and the PBA LBC National Championship.